Now, if you are thinking about your business and thinking about this, about structuring your business, pull out your pen and writing pad. You're going to write a lot. Like I said, we are not going to be just be writing. We are going to be putting out action points, things that you do differently when you leave this place. Right? Let me quickly say a little, a condensed version of an introduction of her. I'm happy to introduce to us Mrs. Olubamike Oluyemisi Fadipe. She is a global certified human resource expert, a trainer, and a business strategist with over 17 years of experience in talent development and organization transformation. She's a senior certified professional with the Society for Human Resource Management, an associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. A vast experience cut across sectors, including agriculture, aviation, consulting, education, events, fashion, finance, healthcare, insurance, logistics, legal, non-profit, engineering, real estate, retail, and tech. I thought we were going to put your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, Olubamike facilitates training, retreat, and strategy sessions focused on change management, business re-engineering, and human capital transformation. She has successfully led multiple consulting projects that drive business growth and organization effectiveness. Now, I want to listen to this person. And with all gladness, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome to the podium Mrs. Bamike.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. That good morning is very warm. I'm not feeling it. Is it because it's cold? It's cold. Okay. Let's raise it. Let's raise the tempo a notch higher. Good morning, everyone. I want you to just say another hello to someone beside you, on your right side, on your left side. I know pastors do that a lot, right? But we do it because we're here for a purpose and you want to connect. You want the vibe to be, you want to be on the same vibe with the person beside you. All right. Thank you very much. It's such a great opportunity to be here and I don't take it lightly. I want to thank Pastor Akonde for the opportunity to come up with this laudable idea of empowering businesses, especially in this city. And I also want to thank the organizers for putting this together. I mean, it's encouraging to know that religious organizations are looking into this and they want to help business owners to get the best that they can ever get, even without going to business school and without paying a dime. And I also want to say to everyone here, see it as a privilege. Because many consulting organizations, including my very self, will charge you a lot to give you whatever, to share ideas with you. And some of the things, there are other speakers here who also would have charged a lot. So what you're getting is actually, and I will also say this with every sense of humility, that every wisdom that you hear today has nothing to do with me. It has to go back to Him. It's from God, the giver of every good gift. Right. So the title is Imagine Businesses. This season. Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. Or is it how I'm holding it? Okay, let me try it for a while, and if it's not working, I'll get another one. All right. What do you mean by imagine businesses? I like the word actually, because I don't like the word small. I don't like it. It's not a destination. Why should I use small to describe my business, whatever state it is? I like the concept of emerging business. I like the idea of growing businesses. So please, the next time you want to talk about your business, don't refer to it as, Oh, I'm a small. No, please don't. Don't do that to yourself because your words are powerful. Every business you know started from somewhere. Dangote started from somewhere. If he kept looking at himself as small, he won't be where he is today. So please, in your vocabulary, that's the first action plan. Take off the word small and use growing business. I run a growing business. I'm an emerging business. That's a better terminology for us to use. Okay, so let's go ahead with speed. Now, I will start with data for you. One of the reasons why emerging businesses in Nigeria is actually something to really look into. And well meaning institutions and organizations should do a lot to invest in that space, invest money, invest knowledge, and invest, capacity building and opportunity. Because this category of businesses are the ones driving our economy. And look at what the data says that we have over 41 million businesses in Nigeria. And I mean, it cuts across all the different levels, the micro, the small, the medium enterprises. That's how they categorize it, right? But you remember we're not small. So let that stick. Okay. So in all this category now, we have the ones that are registered, that are formally structured, just about 1.2 million. And we have informal businesses, 38.4 million. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that means? And this 38.4 million includes your roadside, the people who sell the moi moi that you buy, the bread that you buy. That's a large number. It's huge. And now it's getting more interesting. Look at the next slide. It says SMEs contribute 40 to 48% of Nigeria's GDP. 1.24 million of the formal, 38.4 million of the informal. Your Mishai, your Yasidi, 38.4 million of those people. And collectively contribute 40 to 48% to our GDP. What do you think of this? So we shouldn't call any business small because there's something, and I will tell you that this data is not correct. Because we don't have data. Because there are many sectors that are not even captured at all. There are many under G businesses that are going and they are making money and nobody is capturing them. They are just flowing. So think about this current state we're in right now as chaotic. I mean, pardon that word, but that's the reality. As chaotic as it looks, we're achieving this. What can we do to do a lot more? To have like 80% to GDP in Nigeria. And that's the thinking. And I believe that's one of the reasons why we're here today. Now, SME, don't be shocked here. There's another one that is quite interesting. SMEs account for 84% employment. That's huge. So it means that all these growing businesses, emerging businesses, are actually the real employer of labor. How many people can the banks take? How many people can civil service take? How many from our 200 and something million, where we have the very young population that is fast growing, that is energetic, that is dynamic, and they need a lot more engagement than we're currently offering them. So it's important that we just don't see business as my business. Your business is actually a lot more than about you. It can't be about you. It's about Nigeria. It's about the people that will be joining you to work with you. It's about the legacy you want to leave long after you're gone. It's about the value you want to deliver to everyone that comes in contact with your product or your service. All right. Now, see the other point, there are around 400 million small businesses worldwide. And out of that 400 million small businesses, Nigeria has 41 million. Isn't that amazing? Now, it's important to note that all these statistics that we have seen though they are not so, they don't capture everything fully. But for the purpose of this session today, we will reckon with it because even the World Bank reckons with it. Smedan reckons with it. So we will use it like that. But we know that there's a lot more to us than what we currently have. The painful part to all these things is that for every startup that you see, for every organization, every business that starts around you, 50% of it will die in their first year. 50%, that's huge. Now, in the first 5 years, over 90% of that 50% will fail or will just, I'm sure you've seen a lot, especially after COVID. It was massive. That some shops just, or you enter, I enter some malls that used to be buzzing, and then you are seeing empty shelves. That's the beginning of, that's when businesses are failing, that's how it starts. That doesn't mean the end anyway, because it's also a function of what they choose to do and how they choose to, reposition or just reposition themselves and do things differently. It's not like it's the end, but that's usually the beginning. You see empty shelves, you see closed shops, and it's painful. That with all the data that we saw earlier on, we still have this experience, and this is impacting on our businesses. It's impacting, more importantly, on our economy. Right, so let's move on. Now, I will try to move fast because I really want also to have some engaging sessions. Every business, like Mr. Niyogbade mentioned earlier on, starts with an idea. It starts with a thought. It starts also with you coming up with strategy to drive it, and then you want to execute on every strategy that you have, on every idea that you have, and you also want to run systems. But one of the most things that has been challenging in our economy is the fact that we have a youth-driven entrepreneurship. We have young people waking up and thinking, I want to do my thing, which is actually a great thing. It's a plus for us, right? I'm coming to a point where I will explain the flip side to it. We have tech organizations rising every day, young people who have never worked anywhere wanting to start out, which is not bad, it's fine, You have people going into fashion. We have a lot of fashionpreneurs doing great work, on the runway. Some of them even doing great work outside Nigeria. They're recognized outside the country. We have agro, quite a large number, in recent times going into that space. Creative, the media, And we also have the freelancing, the digital nomads. I want to work for 10 people at the same time, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. And the digital evolution is also impacting a lot on how startup starts. And the last but not the least, solopreneurship. I used to be a banker. Now I want to start something, and I want to do it all by myself. All these examples I've given, they are great. There's nothing wrong with them. The only challenge is that they can be limiting. The only challenge is that what makes a business is not just the idea. The idea is great, it's a starting point, but being able to build a business around it, being able to build a structure around it is actually the challenging point. Don't forget that many of it, I mentioned the youth-driven entrepreneurship, which means a lot of people, they've not worked anywhere. Some of them don't even want to work for anybody. They want their independence, they want their freedom. But the truth is, not wanting to work for anybody is costing us a lot. It's costing, that apprenticeship is lost. You don't know how to do those things. And if you don't know, you don't know it. The things you know that you've seen your boss, he has done it like 10 times. That you can do it because it has been on repetition with you. You can practice it. The day you want to do it by yourself, you can repeat the same process. But when you think, I want to start a business by myself, I don't want to work for anybody, there's a missing part. While it's not a doomsday, there is still a way around it. But the challenge is such a person must be invested in being open-minded, learning and learn it. Because what you don't know, you don't know. Running a business is not just about selling and it's not making money. A lot of people make that mistake. And I've seen organizations rise up like this and painfully just go down because they thought they were making money that was not for them. They thought they were making money because their bank balance was looking large. I consulted for one organization. The bank balance was looking large, but the model of the business was so peculiar that the money that they thought they were making was not their money. And they were building status on the money that is not their money. And this happens. I won't mention the sector, but I know one of them is here. You understand? So see, while we want to, we're very resilient people, and it's a strength, but we should not allow weaknesses to overpower that strength. If you've started a business as an idea and you are running it by yourself and you don't have the expertise, you don't have the experience of running that business, tag with someone who knows. If you need to take a break from your business to go and learn from someone who has done it before, from someone who has done something similar, by all means, please do. If you need to pay to be mentored, if you need to pay to be coached, so that whatever you are building can outlast you, please, by all means, invest in that. Okay. Now, the critical question that we need to really look at is what is happening ahead of us. We leave what is past, how we've run the businesses, what we have done. In fact, what is happening in Nigeria, we'll leave it behind us. And then we'll move on. To say globally, there will be 600 million jobs needed by 2030. And many of these jobs are not the jobs that existed before. I'm sure you know that, right? They are not our regular jobs. They are not the jobs that have been defined, all those big names that we had. In fact, those names are going into extinction, right? And now, the question to ask is, how are we positioning as business owners so that we can be relevant in this global workforce that is coming, which means there are businesses that need to be started to meet the demands of the future, to meet the demands of what we need, what is required by 2030. What do we need to start? What do we need to start doing? And as people who are in this country, well, if you want to jackpot tomorrow, we won't discourage you. But as long as you are here, choose to be part of what we want to build in Nigeria. Choose to be part of the development that we need in Nigeria. The jobs we need to see, the people we need to build, the economy that needs to be boosted. So are we positioned as users or developers of the global workforce? I don't know if you understand what that question means. What it means is that we're great at developing people in this country. And when they develop to a point in time, they consider another place because they think they will have a better life. Well, they don't think it's actually true. Let's be real. They believe they will have better life. They will have, good livelihood, good system, and blah, blah, blah. The truth is those systems were built, right? So how are we as Nigerians, how are we as business owners going to position as users, not just as developers? And now the interesting part with being users is that we can afford to give those people a good livelihood. That's what it really means. Because if they have it better, many of them won't leave. Many of them won't step out of this country. If they can achieve their aspiration, they can achieve all that they desire to achieve in this country, and they have organizations who can take them up and get the best of them, they won't leave. So I'm challenging you as business owners. How are we going to be users and not just developers of the workforce, of the global workforce that the world needs as we contribute our own quota? Now, maybe you are wondering, what does this have to do with structure? I'll connect the dots. When you hear young people say, I don't want to work with this organization, ask them more questions. It's because the organization doesn't have a name. Why I mean, in our days, we all wanted to work in the banks. We wanted to work in the big named organization. It's because those organizations are structured, they have systems in place, and they also pay good money in addition to all that. Now, whether we like it or not, we already have our growing businesses occupying a huge place in employing people. And many of those people that are being employed, I can tell you, I recruit. I can tell you that there is huge satisfaction in that space, in growing businesses. From either the business owner is too toxic, the business owner micromanages. Of course, this is from the employee's point of view. You get the drift. Sometimes it's not always true. The business owner micromanages. The business owner is not organized. The business is not. They don't pay. Of course, that's like a normal thing because the truth is, I believe we're all growing business. Or is there any multinational in this room? No, let me know so that I can know. You know how it can be when you are looking at what you are looking at the revenue. You won't pay salaries out of what you're not earning. You're going to build the organization, build the team from what you're earning. Even if you want to inject fund into the organization, the funding won't be for salaries now. It will be for scaling. It will be for expansion. So you're looking at your bottom line. You're also looking at staffing, and it's usually huge anyway. It's usually a significant percentage of the entire overhead. So when somebody is not saying they want more salary, when when I have this conversation with business owners, can you imagine these people? I say, don't take it personal. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. See, take it to God and ask yourself and God, what can I do better? Stop fighting them. It's not their fault. They are in the same Nigeria that you are in. So they have a right to make demands, especially when they are delivering value. So don't fight them and don't give them attitude when they ask for more money every time. This is what I tell my team. Every time they ask, I will go back. God, are you hearing? Because that's actually the truth. And one of the things that structure must do for us, or the desire to structure our organization, is it must make you think big. I tell myself, I want my staff to be able to buy a car with ease. And I try to do the maths. How much will he need to earn to be able to do that with ease? Because that's actually, it's not a luxury. It's good life, right? How much do they need to earn? And from how much they need to earn, how much do we need to make to be able to afford this? That is how to stretch ourselves and to begin to put structure in place. That is how to stretch ourselves and to challenge ourselves that this structure that we're talking about is actually essential. Can your staff say they are proud to work in your organization? Can they say they are proud to work with you? Whether you are occupying a mini office or you are even working hybrid, whatever state you're currently running, can people working with you say they are proud to work in this organization? And for the purpose of those who are yet to start, you are very lucky. Because all these things you're hearing, it should help you to put those things in place. You can begin to document this journey and begin to document the things you want to see, the things you want to have, the picture. Begin to visualize and begin to document. Those two things are important. What do you want to see? What kind of organization do you want? Now, structure is similar to this building we're in. It's a structure. Before this thing came to be, somebody thought of it. We want a space, we want an NUG center that has multiple shops. They designed it first in their minds before the architect came up with a paper design. They saw it in their mind. They had meetings about it. They talked about it. That's how businesses start. It first starts with an idea. It starts sometimes with a spontaneous idea. Somebody just discussing something, or you observe something, you observe a gap, and you feel, we should be able to do this. We should be able to offer this. But aside from that structure in the mind, it must be put on paper. This is the first step. A lot of us don't have anything on paper. We have it all in our minds. Yes. And guess what? Your mind will disappoint you, will fail you. When you need it most, it will just disappear. Especially if you are at a season of life like that. You enter a room, you are trying to remember, what did I come to do in this room? And then you try to retrace your steps. You say, okay, let's try and recalibrate. You can't depend on what is in your mind. It's not possible. Even to run your life, don't. How much more your business? The business is an entity on its own, and every journey should be documented. From the time of having the idea, get a journal, start writing it down. What do I want to see? I will still share the different sections, the different aspects of business that you can document on. From the value you want to deliver, what do you want to be doing? What is the business about? What's the vision? What's the mission? What product or service and offering? Now it's different. Product or service is different. Offering is different. What do you want to offer? What products are you coming up with? You can be selling chicken. I know one of my brothers into that. But what are you offering? Are you offering it as a bag like Zatek does, a bundled package? Or do you want to be selling one by one? One by one will slow us down. It will slow the whole world down. Or you want to sell in bags? Then that determines who are you going to target. If you want to sell one by one, you can be living in the house. You just need a freezer inside your house. You don't need more than that. So that you are selling to the neighborhood. They buy 1 kilo. They come tomorrow, they buy another 2 kilo. But if you want to serve a market, restaurants, caterers, you are not selling one by one. So that influences your scale. It means that a freezer won't catch it for you. You don't need a freezer. You need a cold room to blast the thing and then, look for uptakers. You need a farm as your supply chain if you don't have one already. And if you can invest in one, by all means, that's good to go. And it's a good point to start from. Right. Now, they've moved past my slide. Please move to the next slide. After the structure, the building structure, I want to show us something to simplify structure for us. What you can see there, can anybody identify what you can see on your left side? On my left side, rather, my own left side. What can you see there? TM Lewin. You know TM Lewin? What do they do? Cloth maker. They make shirts, right? Can you see the other side of it? Our own tailor. You know the painful part for me? When I searched online, Nigerian tailor, this is what he brought out for me. Like, this is sad. Like, this is what depicts a tailor in Nigeria. No, this is the simplest way I can relate structure to you. Look, TM Lewin, what did they do? It's tailor. It's Tailor Laurent. They are sewing clothes. And they've been doing live stories. Tailoring they are doing now. Maybe it's clothes they are joining together and they are selling. Now, how long have they been in existence? Over 100 years. Sewing clothes. Sewing. Now, in our own story, this man writes beside him. It's even possible the man is dead and the shop will be closed. Right? In fact, that same day he died. Once they close the shop to mourn, that's it. That ends it. That ends that potential. That ends the use of that machine. That ends every idea that man had in his brain. Now, the more interesting one, look at the next one. What do you see there? You know Starbucks, right? Anybody, you like coffee here? Coffee lovers, where are you? Okay, I can see you. I used to be but I'm no longer. I have I've repented. I'm not born again. Now, how long ago have they been in operation? Now, let me ask you, what are they selling? Coffee. It's Mechai. Yes, now that's what it is. That's what they're, that's it. That's our own. I searched again. Tea seller in Nigeria, and they brought Mishai for me. Do you see? This is actually what structure is about. We can call it a day here because between Starbucks that you can see, it even has a name, and they've been in existence for many years. See their offers. See the different flavor they have on array. It's even online. Guess what? They even have a website, and they've had website for many years. They have an MD CEO. They have branches scattered all over. What's the difference? Structure. Now look at the last one. A grocery store in Dubai. Can you see what it looks like? And again, I searched pepper seller in Nigeria. And they brought, who are those people taking those pictures and dumping it on Google? We should sue them. That why would they post something and then tag it? Because if they didn't tag it, it won't be prompting now. Why are they doing this to us? It's so unfair. And then I saw, see all the pepper exposed. This is not to berate us. I hope you understand what I'm saying. But you don't appreciate how bad something is until you compare it. That's the honest truth. When we go to market to buy all these things, we're okay when we are buying them. But it is when you travel out to a place like Dubai and you see Dubai market and you see somebody selling all random thing and there's AC in the shop and there's even an elevator and you're wondering, what are you people selling here? Is it more than this thing? Do you make your money from other things aside here? And then you see value. You see the difference. It's marked difference. This is what we need to challenge ourselves with, to begin to ask ourselves questions. Between that, I don't know what name to call that Baba. We can call him Baba Amos. And TM Lewin. What's the difference? Structure. Between our Mechai and Starbucks, what's the difference? Structure. Between our own pepper seller and grocery store in Dubai, what's the difference? It's all structure. So this structure is something we have to embrace. Even if you look at, let's even forget the process, the back end process. Who is making more money? The structured one will make more money. That's the truth. Because value has been added. And that value is important and is significant. Now to the next slide. So I'll begin to take us on what are the things to focus on with regards to structure. So we begin to see how, now this is where the word value really comes to play. Value between sewing clothes and delivering a brand called TM Lewin. There's a difference. Value between, let me bring it home because it's not all bad. It's not all that bad. We also have our own stars home. So it's not a doomsday. And I'll say this proudly. I sat online to watch Sheyi Vodi's events. And I don't know what word to use. I was excited. I was happy. Happy for him. I don't know him. But happy for what he has built. And guess what? It didn't arrive. It didn't just arrive. He's been on this for many years. Honing his skills. Building his brand. I have a few clients who patronize him. And they come back. They say anytime they leave that place, virtue comes out of them. Guess what? Maybe if we have any fashion person in the house, he doesn't sew one. He sews bundles. He won't sew one piece for you now. Because what he's building for you is building your wardrobe, he's building your brand. He even labels your name, puts your name on it. And by the time he's doing that name for you, he's doing 1,000 pieces. You know what that means? You owe me 1,000 units. That's how to create offer. The offer I was talking about. It means that ahead of you too, you have invested a lot in that 1,000 pieces, you know. It's not cheap. So you have to come back. You will come back and spend the money, and every time you are leaving, you feel lean. But when you wear the brand and people are telling you who made this for you, you proudly say, Sheyi Body. And guess what? Even their tailors, the tailors who leave him, they become a brand by themselves. That's what I was saying about employees too, the workforce. When they leave him, they become Sheyi Body tailor. And when they want to go to other place, they are stars because everybody's looking up to them, especially in the fashion space. Same with Vicky James. They branded themselves. There is value. And don't argue with me. That cloth is too expensive. No, don't. Please don't say that. Because, see, the value is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The people who are paying money, they know what they are paying for and they are not tired. So instead of complaining that somebody's money is too much, and we do it a lot in this space, there's nobody that is charging too much. You too, charge your own. Charge your charge. If you can, if your community, the question is, who are you serving? And it takes me to the part where we begin to define the value we're offering. Who are we delivering value to? Can you identify them? Can you define them? It can't be everybody. Oh. Please, don't. Don't try to sell to everybody. It will confuse you. Define who your product or service is for. Where will that product or service, where will it be delivered? How will it be delivered? That how is the difference between TM Lewin and Baba Amos. Is the difference between Starbucks and Michai. How the value is being packaged and how it is being delivered. That is the difference. And that's one area that every business owner in this room, if you're currently running a business, begin to rethink it. And if you are yet to start, lucky you. It means you have enough time to really think how to process this, how to package your products, and how to put it together. Who will it be delivered it to? I mentioned that. Define it. And please, all these things I'm saying, please don't know them in your mind. No, I won't even agree with that. Don't know them in your mind. Your mind is too fickle. The day you don't feel good, your mind will disappoint you. The day you are in one mood like that, and business does not know mood. It doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand your emotions. No, business does not have emotions. Because the day tax people are coming, the day the bills are coming, they will come irrespective of your emotions. So you better don't manage your business with emotions. You push it aside. Now, the other question is the scale of your operations. I mentioned that saliently when I talked about if you want to sell chicken and you want to sell in your neighborhood, which is okay. I mean, if that's the starting point, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I was just giving examples of if you want to start in the neighborhood, all you need is a freezer in your room or in your house, and then you can sell one by one. But if you think of selling big and you want to be able to target caterers and restaurants, then you need to, you need machines to get that done. You need equipment to get that done, and you need to define your market and look for them. Right. Okay. Just a minute, please. Now, we need to also define the resources, the people you need, the tools, the equipment, the technology. Now, when you are starting business, let me add this. And I don't mean to berate anybody or any level of profession. In starting business, it is better to build your team. And what I mean by build in terms of capacity. Many business owners who are starting, I'm talking about starting. You want to look for somebody who has worked in a multinational before and you want to employ them. You may be wrong doing that. Because the capacity, the skills that is needed to create the structure, they may not have it. They've worked 30 years or 20-something years in a structured environment where everything has been documented. Every process has been documented. They don't need to, in fact, permit me to say, they don't need to think too much because they just plug in and play. And you now want to build something that you are starting from scratch. Even the contract document, you are yet to draft it. The SLA between you and your supplier, you don't have. What the receipt will look like, you are yet to have. That's a long journey. To now bring somebody who is coming from a multinational, they have that. Yes, they have that experience. They can consult for you so that you can appreciate what ideals look like. But bringing them in to work for you when you are starting, depending on the scale you are starting. If you are starting on an organic, a scale where you need to grow organically, I will strongly not recommend it. If you are starting on a big scale where the money is there, we want to scale. Yes, let's bring in all those people. We need them. So I'm balancing it. So it depends on the scale of operations, depends on the scale that you are starting with. And that scale, we already talked about it, that you must, when you start a business and you start with two people and you are building, the kind of structure you need at that level. As you progress, you now have 10 staff. The kind of structure you need at that level is different. So you can't say because they did one hand good for you. When they were two, you still want to continue to use that hand good. Take it from me. Because they will misinterpret something that the context has expired. Imagine now that you have moved from 10, you are now in 100 staff, you now have multiple branches, and you still want to sustain what you started with. It's disaster. So structure is a continuum. It keeps changing as scale increases and as the operation expands. You have to keep changing, and you have to keep changing it with time. You can't stop. I always ask this question when I consult for business owners. When you are starting, I ask you, what do you really want? What is this business for? Is it for livelihood? As in, you want to hold body and soul together. You just need something to be coming. Or is it, let's just build something. Now, I have this money. Let me just build something. There are businesses that start like that. And it doesn't make it wrong. Or is it that I want to build this thing and I will not be involved in it? Or I want to build this thing and in the next 10 years I want to sell it. Or I want to build this thing and in 100 years I want my name or the name or whatever the service is known for to still continue. You must answer these questions correctly. Now, don't be bothered about what people will think. Because it's your business, it's your time, it's your life. Building, when people say, I don't want to work for anybody, and they think that it is easy. Go and ask. Many of them already have gray hair, actually. Because it's not a walk in the park. You will be humbled. You will be humbled as a business owner. Your staff will humble you. Supplier will humble you. Customers will humble you. Even government on their own, all the regulations they have put in place. You will hear of another one be like, how did you get here again? So it can't be simply because you are looking for freedom and you think starting a business, you must be able to answer those questions correctly. What do I really want? What do I really want? You must be able to answer it correctly. Now, as a business owner, you are a leader in that business. And everything about that business will pick after you. Your strengths, your weaknesses. Thirdly, it is important to even first do a self-awareness for yourself, to understand yourself. That first check of knowing who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what do you really, it will help you to define what you need. If you are a late riser and you like to start your day late and you are starting a business, sorry, your people will come late. Just be ready. It's not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's okay if that's who you are. But the truth is, your staff will be coming late. and you will complain. But the truth is, they'll just pick it from you, just like that. So what I tell, I mean, I've met quite a number of business owners who say, no, 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 no. I work all through the night and I can't be waking up early. Ah, okay. Look for a manager that will become that standard for you. So that that person is the compliance person. But if you are the one they are seeing as Oga and you don't come early, sorry, they will come late for meetings. And you see, don't judge them. You should actually judge yourself first. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that how you want your organization to be, do a selfie on yourself. Look at yourself and look at the strengths you have, the weaknesses you have, and how it can impact on your business. Look at what is working for you. And the things that are the struggle for you, you may need to create a support system for it. If you always change goalposts, I tell people, look for somebody to be accountable to, for a mentor. If everything that helps at you or everything you see online looks like something to try, look for somebody to be accountable to. So that that person holds you down to say, no, you said you were going to do this. So that how far are you going with this before you hop on another? You actually need a whole village to help you running your business. And I always canvas that the first support system you need is actually your family. They're the first to buy from you even when the product doesn't look good. They're the first to buy from you when the product has no packaging, just in nylon, in black nylon, and they don't mind. And when they buy from you, they're promoting you. So I encourage families to support friends and families, support the people who are doing business. For the longest time in my career days, I used to buy turkey, all this, and those things suddenly became expensive. And I asked myself, what am I looking for? All those jackets, you buy one piece, and the dollar that was doing Bala Blue, you check the amount, and you're like, what's this? So I told myself, no, we do African outfit. If it's even cheaper for Christ's sake, I'm expressing myself, you know. And why not buy Nigerian? Why not be Nigerian? I can't imagine coming to a place like this and wearing suit for who, for why, to achieve what? I'm Nigerian, I'm proudly so. And I'm building a business that I believe is sent to Nigeria. Because the Americans don't need my advice. They're already made. They're made. They don't need it. So we are for ourselves. And you have me, right? So talking about leadership, thank you. We need to build our leadership capacity and then identify who we need, what we need to support areas where we are lacking. If you're a leader who is brash, because their personalities like that, and it's okay, but you must identify yourself. You are not patient with people. In your early days, you need people and correct people. People's brain is there. They will not stay if you abuse them. They will go. They will leave you. They will go to the next person. So if you want to build for the long haul, all those I am like this, please go and resize. Go and adjust. Because we business owners, in fact, maybe I because of business, or I we always like to see everything wrong with our staff. When some of the things that is wrong with them started with us. They are just showing us our yeah. They are giving it back to us, what we mirrored to them. Oftentimes, that's what I see. So when I'm trying to be objective, they say, "Child, you are for these people. You are not looking at me." No, I say, I'm in a privileged position where I'm seeing you and your team, and I can see it from a distance. I can see what is missing. I can see what the gaps are. So our people management must be top notch. You can't afford not to be able to. Because especially these young people, they have options. In fact, they can even choose to not work for a time because their mental states. They just want some time off work. Not for anything, but because you talk to them anyhow. So it depends. And guess what? You need them. Because they are smarter than you. You really do need them. Oh. All this social media thing, creative thing. If you want to move far, look for a Gen Z. They will give you more than, but you also need to be able to manage them. You need capacity to be able to manage them. Right. It's also the responsibility of the leader to build culture. What the culture of the organization is. How how you want people to relate with themselves, how you want them to be, how you want them to relate, how you want them to communicate. If you don't want people to say "ode" in your company, don't say "ode" to anybody. Whether you are joking about it or please don't. I've seen that. I'm like, what? How did we get here? In a business that has 3 floors, for Christ's sake. Ah, when we're not in the market space. He said, no, I'm just joking with them. What? They will say it back to you one day. Since it's a joke now, we can both crack it together. You know? So it's important that as a leader, we build that culture. We curate the culture intentionally, what we want to see. And we mirror it to them so that they can mirror it back to them. Also, it's important to document process, the initial level of process. So you look at the product service design. I already talked about that. Define your product and service. Before you place fees or prices on your product, determine the value you want to deliver. Many times, that happened with me anyway. In my days in Ibadan, you just put price because you look around you. How much will these people be willing to pay? And then you just place the price. And instead of looking around you at how much these people will be willing to pay, look at your product. And then look at what value can you add up? What value can you stack that can make these people actually pay much more than that amount you're thinking of, than you think they can readily pay. If they see value and they see values that are stacked on top of each other, they will pay. Why would anybody pay 1 point something million for a dress? They saw something. There's something sold to them. And it's not the product. There's a feeling. There's an identity sold to them. The major problem we have in Nigeria is that of identity. So if you want to go far, look for products that can capture identity, that communicates who people desire to be. Because most times we feel we're not. Most times we feel we're not there. So we feel we want to be defined as something. Now, branding, sales, and marketing, this is important. You have to at least start from Instagram. If you don't know where to start from Instagram. Put your post there. Whatever you're selling. Even your WhatsApp status, it sells though. I have people making a lot of money on a daily basis just on their WhatsApp status. Right. Accounts, finance, and operations. From the first day you start selling, please separate your money from your business. The business money is not your money. In fact, I should spend an hour on this one. But I know the funding, there are people in finance already who will talk about that. You're an entity, even if you have not registered the business. Separate the account in which the money comes into, different from the account that you operate on. If you need money and you want to take from the account, please capture it as drawing. You need money. The business cannot pay you salary for now, and it's okay. But you need some money. Make sure you capture it. Have records. Keep your data. Expense as easy as it gets. Just rule. How many columns? Date, customer name, in amount, description. Keep it. For expenses too. Date, the description of the expense, as basic as that. And if you have the privilege of using a spreadsheet, in fact, makes it a lot easier. If you can use maybe your phone, if you're that savvy to use a phone or your laptop, makes it a lot easier. But that record must be kept. Data is life. That's an advert, but it's the truth. If you can't, there are times you don't know what your business is making. Until you sit down and you look at the money and you're wondering, where is the money? And you see the volume that has come in and is significant and you're wondering, I can't see the money because etinoje. You can't see it because it has entered here. So that record keeping is key. And people management, I can't overestimate that and I can't even overemphasize that. And it's important to document our processes. Okay. Now, in all of this that I've been saying, document, even all these things I'm saying now, write it down. Don't write all the story I've been saying. It's okay. Just write what you plan to do. Action plan. Okay, I plan to create spreadsheets for the account. Write it down as a task. Whatever you plan to do. Now, the structure components, I'll just go through it and then I need to start rounding up now. The legality and identity of your business. These are basic, like core pillars of structure. Right. Legality and identity. It's important you have a business name. If you are doing business in Nigeria, please register with CAC. It's important. It helps you to create that sense of ownership because whatever name you think you have might have disappeared. Aside from that, in terms of regulatory, with the regulatory and compliance, regulations and compliance, it positions you better. Leadership structure and style, I already talked about that. You know, the culture, mindset with the people you want to have, people management and all. Then strategic planning. You have to have a vision. Somebody mentioned that earlier on. You know, have a vision, have a mission. See, don't look for perfect when you're starting your business. Those ideas you have, as it is in your mind, just write it down, document it. All the organizations you know today, many of them, the vision mission they started with is not what they are using now. See Facebook. Facebook started with, they just wanted to connect the world. In fact, they have changed model how many times? They have changed direction, they have changed vision, they have changed mission, and it's fine. You can evolve as many times as possible, but still write as of today, where you are now, document for it. Product service development, I already said that. See, you don't have a business if you cannot generate demand on a regular basis. Not a fluke, not something that I sold one time and then, it was a successful sale. And then we have to wait for the next 1 month. No, you're not in business. I know that happens. And it puts businesses in a bad state. You want to build a system for your sales. You want to hack it. It may take time to hack it, but you must, because that's what will keep you in business. That's what will help your cash flow. That you must keep designing, keep tweaking it. Who am I selling to? How am I selling it? How can I deliver value? And what value can I start to make these people pay me the money that I deserve? Brand management, that's important. I talked about that. It's important you brand your organization for positioning. You also want to look, financial operations, I mentioned that, people administration, documentation, and policies. All these things are very key. Now, to take us back to the images we saw earlier on, I want to quickly just add something on it as I wrap up. That the difference between what TM Lewin sells and what Papa Amos sells is value. Papa Amos will make his clothes, he will just make it, the finishing may not even be so great. The inside, all those, threads may be flying up and down. But the sewing will still be good for the people who want to. And we put inside black nylon, and they have gone. TM Lewin didn't just even stop at making shirts. They started as shirt maker. Now, there's nothing for men that they don't make. They even make for women now. They started for men. Now they make for women. Ties, everything, cufflinks, the entire value chain. They have expanded into it. So what can you expand into? Whatever you are doing right now, what value can you stack on it? If you are into food business, look at Starbucks. They have offers. They're not just selling rice and come to Lagos. In fact, you'll be impressed when you enter some restaurant. Though when you are leaving, virtue would have left you. But the kind of options they give you, your brain will just be, you see jambalaya rice, you see Caribbean rice, you see, I don't know, is it really from Caribbean? I don't know, but at least you taste it and it tastes okay. That offers. They even confuse you when you come in because they want you to. They want you to be confused enough to spend money. Right. Look at, even if you're selling pepper, there's a way you can package it. You can put in Ziploc, frozen, and then sell to busy people. You can target your market differently. The sustainability code is that businesses must have clear mission. You must have what you want to achieve. It must be clear to you, and you must be able to communicate it to your world. It must also be market fit. Don't have mission for something that is meant for America or Nigeria. Adapt whatever market, whatever product. Please, next slide, please. Whatever product you want to sell, you want to drive, adapt it to the location you have identified. Make sure it fits. Right. Create systems that allow repeatable excellent delivery. Your people and performance management, keep working on yourself. As you are working on the business, work on yourself too and build capacity. Because your capacity to manage 5 people, when the business becomes 10, you may just start getting cranky, especially when it's salary week. Also, have your numbers at your fingertips. Let it be visible to you. Budgeting, tracking your expenses, and of course, planning. All these things help you to plan. I'm rounding up. Okay. Now, our reality versus desirable. This is a quick check that I did, and I asked myself from the data we started with. Imagine increasing 41 million business just by 50% by 2030. Imagine having more informal SMEs formalized by 50%. Imagine SMEs in Nigeria being able to, instead of the 48% that we're currently doing, being able to contribute like 80%, doubling it. And doubling it simply because our businesses are a lot more structured, they can deliver more value, and they can earn more. Because that's actually what happens. If you can deliver more, you will have capacity to earn more. So what it means is that structuring our businesses actually has a lot in our earning capacity. There are even businesses, there are organizations that will not do business with you if you are not structured, if they don't perceive you as having that kind of structure that they desire. The 50% failed SMEs by year one, can we reduce it? Can we reduce it by 50%? Just by everyone in this room working on their businesses and doing things right. And all these ideas that we've shared and many that other speakers, we still share. If we can do all of this, it will help us to be better at our businesses, and not just on the business for the business. It will help us to become better. We will earn more. We will attract, smarter and, people that we can afford to pay. Now, the key takeaways here: review and align your business model. Create a clear structure and document processes. I've said that countless number of times, and I want us to have it as a takeaway. Invest in systems, invest in technology, and invest in people. People. Train your staff. Train your staff. Train your staff. If you don't train them, don't blame them. Track your numbers, not just sales. Track how much you made. Track how many clients that gave you that. Track the dimension of the client. Who are they? Where are they? What kind of people are they? And position yourself for partnership, funding, and to scale. And on a final note, this is my desire and this is what drives me. I look forward to a world where indigenous businesses in Nigeria can celebrate 100 years. And I mean indigenous, not the one that Oyibo came and then they gave us a name and then we changed. I mean truly indigenous. Businesses started in Nigeria by Nigerians, where the Nigerian SMEs have all that is required to position and run effectively, while the workforce has adequate exposure and opportunity to work and lead a great life. Thank you very much for your